What if I told you, you've been living in the wrong country your whole life? Narrator, Australia versus the USA. Two giants of the modern world. But what if one is actually a cheat code for a better life? Today, we dive deep into the brutal truth, no fluff, no sugarcoating. And trust me, some of these facts will make you question everything. Stick around, because by the end of this, you might just find yourself packing your bags. Let's start with the one thing nobody dares to talk about: stress. Life in the US is fast. It's grab your coffee, rush to work, stare at a screen, rush back home, repeat. Americans wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. In Australia, the culture says, mate, slow down. Have a barbecue. Take a swim. The work-life balance? It's not just a buzzword, it's enforced. 4 weeks of paid vacation is standard. In the US, that's called being lucky. But here's the catch: Australians still have a thriving economy, meaning they are not just relaxing, they are doing it right. Now, let's talk about the green stuff. And no, I don't mean avocados. The US loves money, but does it love you back? In America, the median wage looks great on paper, but factor in health insurance, high rent, and student loans? You might as well be working for free. Meanwhile, Australia has a high minimum wage, nearly double the US federal rate, and universal healthcare. That means breaking an arm in Australia costs you maybe a few hours at the hospital. In the US? Hope you enjoy selling a kidney on Craigslist. And while we're here, let's talk crime. You know how Americans triple-check their locks at night? In Australia, crime rates are significantly lower. Guns? Heavily regulated. That means fewer mass shootings, fewer home invasions, and a whole lot more peace of mind. If that doesn't make you think twice, I don't know what will. But hold on, before you start booking flights, let's talk about the elephant in the room: danger. Australia is home to some of the deadliest creatures on Earth. Crocodiles, snakes, spiders the size of your face, even the jellyfish are out for blood. But here's the ironic twist: despite this horror movie lineup, fewer people actually die from wildlife attacks than you'd think. In fact, statistically, more Americans are killed by deer than Australians are by all their terrifying creatures combined. Yep, Bambi has a body count. Let's shift gears to lifestyle. If you like space, Australia is your dream. The country is massive with only 26 million people. That means cleaner air, stunning beaches that aren't packed, and cities that actually plan for the future. Compare that to the US, where megametropolises mean traffic, smog, and housing so expensive that people are turning vans into homes. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about opportunity? The American dream. Well, here's the plot twist. In the US, success often comes with burnout. In Australia, you get a fair shot without sacrificing your sanity. Plus, social mobility is actually higher in Australia. If you're born poor in the US, statistically, it's harder to climb the ladder compared to Australia. The dream might be more real, down under, but there's one thing the US has that Australia never will. And it might just be the deal breaker. Freedom? Culture? Nope. It's Chick-fil-A. Yep, Australians don't get that crispy, addictive chicken sandwich. No In-N-Out, no Wendy's spicy nuggets. And for some, that's where the debate ends. But wait, what about weather? If you love endless summer days, Australia is paradise. Sunshine, beaches, and warm weather for most of the year. No brutal snowstorms shutting down entire cities, no weeks of freezing temperatures. And if you do love winter, there are ski resorts too. Meanwhile, the US has everything from hurricanes to tornadoes to blizzards. Nature is beautiful, until it isn't. And speaking of nature, let's talk about the wild side of life. In the US, road trips mean hopping from city to city, seeing famous landmarks. In Australia, you could drive for hours and still not see a single soul. But what you will see: jaw-dropping landscapes. The Great Barrier Reef, Uluru, rainforests, deserts, it's a continent of contrasts. You want adventure? Australia delivers. And then, there's education. Did you know that university is significantly cheaper in Australia? In the US, Students graduate with debt that can take decades to pay off. In Australia, the government actually helps students, and the cost is a fraction of what Americans pay. So, if you're dreaming of higher education without a financial nightmare, Australia might just be calling your name. Let's not forget healthcare. While Americans argue over insurance premiums and hospital bills, Australians enjoy free or low-cost healthcare. Need an emergency surgery? Covered. Need to see a doctor? No surprise bills. In the US, a simple trip to the ER can cost thousands. In Australia, it's just another Tuesday. And what about happiness? Studies show Australians consistently rank higher in life satisfaction compared to Americans. Less stress, more outdoor living, stronger communities. Imagine walking to the beach after work instead of sitting in hours of traffic. Imagine a country where even major cities don't feel suffocating. It's not just a lifestyle, it's a mindset. So, where does that leave us? America is big, bold, and full of opportunity, but at a cost. Australia? Safer, healthier, less stress, but no Chick-fil-A. At the end of the day, the real question isn't which country is better. It's which life do you want? And if you're still watching, then maybe, just maybe, it's time for a change. Because life isn't about where you were born, it's about where you truly live. And that is up to you. Where would you rather live? Drop a comment below.